Hello and welcome to the concluding session in the MS Dynamics World Fall Document Management Webcast Series. I'm Jason Gumpert and I'm really happy to welcome you today to the event, which should be a lot of fun. We have representatives from our 4 webcast series sponsors on the line for this document management vendor Shootout, and they're each going to spend 12 minutes telling you about the latest and greatest about their companies and their solutions. We've had some really wonderful sessions in this series so far. We've had subject matter experts on a range of topics talking to our audience, and we've received some really positive feedback from that. I'd invite you to check these sessions out on demand if you missed them live. They are all available on msdynamicsworld.com if you get a chance. But without further delay, let's get this session going. We have 4 great speakers today. The order of the presenters will be Bob Hawley from Metafile, Gary Scopel from Datahaven for Dynamics, Holly Condon from PaperSave, and Troy Cloberdans from Bottomline Technologies. We will take questions at the end. We invite you to add your questions. Please feel free to utilize the chat and the Q&A blocks that you see to the right of the screen. And we will get to as many as we can once the presentations conclude. So let me begin with our first presenter, Bob Hawley from Metafile.
Thanks, appreciate it. Thank you guys for taking the time out of your day today, some of you during the lunch hour and others like us earlier in the morning out here in the West Coast. My name is Bob Hawley. I'm with Metafile Information Systems, and let me go ahead and share my desktop with you and walk you through a little bit about document management from Metafile's perspective. So, Jason, you can see my screen, correct? We should be good to go. Don't hear anything, yes?
Yeah, I can. Sorry, I was on mute.
You're good.
Yep.
Okay. Most people know us by our product name, which is MetaViewer. Metafile Information Systems is the publisher of that. Our company's been in business for about 30 years, over 30 years actually, 1979. The same year, interestingly enough, that Microsoft became a company. We're a little smaller than Microsoft. We're a privately held company headquartered out of Rochester, Minnesota. We have over 3,500 installations of MetaViewer worldwide, and we're pretty proud of the fact that about 2,200 of those are still current and active on maintenance. So you're thinking about document management. What questions should you be asking? Because there are 4 very strong products that you'll hear about today during today's session. So let me just kind of run through a couple of those key questions that I think you should take in consideration when you're evaluating a document management company for document management needs. Is the system a browser-based solution, or is it a client-server? The difference there meaning that if it's a client-server solution, each user will have to have a small installation put on their desktop or laptop in order to access the application. MetaViewer is a browser-based solution, and I think all laptops or computers these days come with a browser or 2 on them. So that means that it's a zero-footprint installation for users to access documents, and of course they do that based on their security level that's set up within the system. Another question to ask is full-text searching of documents offered? We will take documents in that come in from vendors or customers or other outside sources like the companies that you're dealing with. And those documents are typically unstructured. We will make those documents full text searchable, so you can search on any word within a document that you would receive from an outside source, like a vendor or a customer. Does the system offer document reading technology? That's commonly called OCR, optical character recognition. Is that part of the product? Is it an add-on? Is that something that you're interested in? And I think the answer to that question is, if you receive a significant amount of documents from outside sources, whether they're purchase orders from customers or whether they're invoices from vendors, having an OCR solution as part of the document management product that you have, having that component can greatly reduce the amount of data entry that your users will need to make. So OCR technology will read the data from those documents that you receive. Of course, documents that you produce internally, they get print captured to the document management system. And I think most solutions that you'll hear from today have that same technology where they're print capturing documents that you internally create. So there is a difference. OCR works for reading documents that you receive that are not yours from customers and vendors. And I think part of that would be, how much does that document reading technology add to the overall cost of the solution? Pretty important question to know. Are there acquisition options available? In other words, does that vendor want you to buy their software and install it on servers internally? Much like you might be running Dynamics today in a in-house environment, you can purchase a document management system, but some systems will provide that document management solution in the cloud, in a SaaS arrangement, software as a service. We also offer an on-premise subscription model, which means you don't have to buy the software. We'll install it on servers at your location, and then you'll pay for the use of it on a monthly or a quarterly basis. But you're not actually buying and having to have the big capital outlay of the software itself. More questions. How much automation does the system have? Document management systems typically have workflow components to them. That means that documents can be routed around the system to various people for review, approval, things like that, potentially even rejection if they don't want to go through with something particular, let's say on an invoice, they don't want to pay that, or there's a mistake on it or something like that. So each company that you'll hear from, this is where I really want to encourage folks to dig deep in how does that document go through workflow. Pretend, if you will, that you're a document. You're an invoice, let's say, if you're looking at a document management system for AP automation. Put yourself as an invoice and say, what happens to me first? Then what happens to me second? And as that company walks you through their workflow process, you'll be able to tell how much human intervention is required to move that document through workflow. The more human intervention required, the less efficiency gains you will see by deploying a document management system. The more automation that occurs, meaning that means that there is less human intervention that's required. And each solution is going to have slight differences in the amount of workflow automation that they offer. That's a pretty key question to ask, and you'll want to ask very specific questions about how much human intervention is required. Integration methods. Document management systems are integrated to other systems. Dynamics AX and GP and NetAV and SL. Most document management systems have integrations built to them, but there are different types of integrations that are built to pass data from one system to another. And so you'll want to thoroughly understand what integration method is being proposed by the document management solution vendor that you're talking to. What dashboards and reporting does the system come with? Most document management systems are going to be tracking documents that they have in their workflow process. And so you'll want to ask to see what dashboards and reporting the system offers. So what's MetaViewer? MetaViewer is a browser-based EDM, Enterprise Document Management Solution. Enterprise Content Management, kind of the same thing. That means that there's zero footprint on the user workstations. Any browser will work to access MetaViewer. I see I've listed a couple of them here, but of course there are others. So you can stay and use your favorite browser, whatever that might be. We're fully integrated with Dynamics, all different ERP flavors of Dynamics, and SharePoint. And for some of you, SharePoint has been deployed within your organization, so you might have forms built in SharePoint, or your users might live inside of a SharePoint window, and they want to access documents that are in the document management system, and they can do that from the SharePoint window. Now, MetaViewer is not a SharePoint-based solution, meaning we do not store our documents in SharePoint, but we're fully integrated for those companies that have SharePoint deployed, where they can reside in SharePoint and search for documents that are within MetaViewer. They can also complete forms like expense reports and things that you might have set up within SharePoint and push those documents to MetaViewer. And we've got some technology within MetaViewer that no one else in the industry has, and that is our ability to read externally sent, meaning documents that are sent to you by vendors or customers or any other outside source. We can read those documents 100% accurately. Now, that's an unstructured document. We don't use optical character recognition for that, OCR. We have our own proprietary technology that allows us to read those text-based documents 100% accurately. So the system overview. MetaViewer at its core is a document repository. It's where you're going to store your documents. Documents come into MetaViewer through many different ways. You're going to produce documents within your Microsoft Dynamics application. You're potentially going to produce documents in Microsoft SharePoint. Those documents are easily captured via print output to MetaViewer. You're also, in this example, this overview example that I have here, I'm kind of focused on the accounts payable process, but there would be a separate system overview diagram if you're interested in document management for sales order processing or contract management, those kinds of things. Paper documents come in, and in the case of accounts payable, those paper documents are invoices. They require scanning and that OCR process to read those documents if you choose to have the accelerator tool. Of course, you can have MetaViewer without the accelerator tool, but what that means is that you're keying all the information in, much like you do today when you're working in Dynamics directly. Documents that come in via electronic method, like EDI or email or FTP from an FTP site, those documents are typically text-based, and we can read the data from that text-based document, bringing it through Accelerator and indexing the document automatically in MetaViewer.
Bob, I'll need you to start wrapping up, please.
Sure. The workflow component is there as well. This is where most of our installations are significantly different from each other. So your workflow business process is going to be built based on how you want it to be built. Retrieval, retrieving documents through a browser, through the internet. You can also retrieve documents through any of the Dynamics screens that you might be using. And of course, I talked about the SharePoint integration earlier. Lastly, there's a vendor portal in the case of accounts payable, and the vendor portal can give access to vendors or customers outside of your organization in a limited way so that you can eliminate potentially some of the phone calls that you receive. And I think I'm over my time.
I'm sorry. Yeah, you're over your time.
Thanks.
So I'm going to give each person an extra 30 seconds, but we will now move on to. And excuse me here, I'm just going to change the controls. We are now going to move on to our second presenter, who is Gary Scopel. And Gary, I'm just going to give you access now. And open up your phone line.
Hello, everyone. I'm going to share my desktop. Hi, everyone. My name is Gary Scopel. I'm the product manager for Datahaven for Dynamics. Datahaven is an embedded scanning workflow OCR and archive solution for Dynamics NAV. And we're pleased to announce at Convergence in this March, we will be previewing our Datahaven for Dynamics AX. Agenda for today, very quickly, I'll talk about a little bit about company history. I'll show you both demo clips of Datahaven in action and screenshots, and then I'll tie it back to you all as customers, the customer value. We are a Microsoft certified Silver ISV. We've been in business since 1989, creating custom enterprise class applications, and we developed the underlying framework that you'll see today in Datahaven back in the mid-90s and being updated into the latest technologies. So for the past 15 years, we've been embedding Datahaven document management platform into high-volume mission-critical systems for high-profile customers such as these and many others. So we're pleased that we're able to offer Datahaven to the Dynamics NAV and AX communities. So a little bit about you. This is an IDC study that says that customers see that there's value in sharing documents through enterprise content management systems. But this same study also pointed out that you all as customers are looking for better pre-integrated solutions between your enterprise content management systems, like the 4 systems you'll hear about today, and your enterprise applications like Dynamics. So Datahaven is a better pre-integrated solution. We offer integration into all of the nav modules that are standard, the purchasing and HR, sales, AR billing, AP, finance, and that includes any custom pages that you all as customers may have made or ISV solutions that you also may have installed. We can also integrate with those as well. We offer in the nav arena, we offer as far back as version 4 and 5 for classic clients, and 2009 and 2013 for Roll Taylor client. We also offer an Outlook add-in for your non-nav users, and we support a web client for the currently released NAV 2013. And we also have a SharePoint client in the first quarter of the following year. So let me just show you a couple screenshots and videos of what Datahaven looks like. So here's an example of Datahaven embedded on the sales order page. And you can see that even though I'm on a sales order list view, I can see both the sales documents, the sales order documents, and the sales quotes documents. So this is a quick video clip that I'm going to show of this process in action. So here on the right, you can see the Datahaven component, and it is synchronized to the display on the left. And you can see that the sales quote 1021 has no documents, so I'm going to go into that particular screen. And you can again see the Datahaven component on the right. I can drag and drop documents, I can scan documents, or I can import directly into this folder structure. Or in this case, I can actually do a capture and send. So it will actually run the report that is in your native Dynamics, attach the document, and name the document. So here is an example of a sales quote. And once the document is attached, it also does the addressing and naming of the subject, and it pulls out of your contact manager the email address, and you can go ahead and send that to your customer. You could also do this in a batch format. And at the same time, we're actually keeping a copy of the document that was sent out and automatically naming it. So the automatic naming and filing are very important, because no matter who does the work, if it's a month from now or 7 years from now, you have the documents filed and named the same way. So here's some more examples of Datahaven embedded. Here we have it on an item list view. And here is Datahaven on a payment journal. And I have a quick demo again of how this would work in so here I am on the payment journal, and I'm just going to type in some basic information, and I'm going to pick a vendor. And then I'm going to go select 2 invoices to pay for this particular vendor. I'm going to pick the 2 invoices here at the bottom, and I'm going to go ahead and apply entries. And as soon as I click OK, you notice on the right that everything was updated, and Datahaven automatically pulls in all the transactions that are going to be paid for this particular pay line and all the supporting documents as well. So again, continuing on the how Datahaven looks embedded, here we have Classic Client as well. This is a purchase invoice, and here's the same purchase invoice on the Role Teller client. And then one more quick demo of how Datahaven is embedded on the folder structure for a vendor list. Now, what's important to note here is that even though I'm on the vendor list, Datahaven has the capability, a very unique capability, to pull in documents related to the vendor, not just the vendor documents. So here we're seeing posted and unposted documents pulled in. We have a folder structure, and I've browsed to one in particular, this invoice that I have selected. And in addition, I can actually click this Launch Nav Card page, and it will actually take me to the exact card page for that transaction so I can do further work. Datahaven also has a workflow component, and here it is embedded on the Classic client. And here is on the Role Center of the Role Teller client is the workflow component. And I have a quick video of what that looks like, and this is just a quick example, a particular AP example. So here we are on the Role Center, and we have some accounts payable workflow queues, and you see that there are 3 documents in this particular queues. We have some data entry queues. The number is shown on the right, list the documents in the queue. And here I'm just going to show some functionality where I can click a couple and I can actually check them out to myself so I can exclusively work on them. And we have some mailroom queues, and I'm going to show my personal queue in a second, but these are all customizable and configurable based on your company's needs. I have 28 in my queue. I have a lot of work to do. I'm going to start that work, select the first document, and then launch the nav card page. It takes me directly to the transaction. I can continue my work. So what does workflow allow you to do as customers? Workflow allows you to take what your current process may be, which may be chaotic, and to rethink it. You may have documents that go around your organization. You may have older equipment. People may be using network file shares, fax machines, and an unorganized mailroom with file folders, and you may even be tracking things with Excel spreadsheets. So what workflow allows you to do, electronic workflow, is to consolidate your inbound process, use new technologies and policies and procedures, and some existing technologies like perhaps your business email inboxes, fax servers, or digital senders, and consolidate that whole inbound process into Datahaven's workflow. And then you have your Datahaven users actually use that workflow, whether it's specifically for the person or many people in one particular queue. So it's a very powerful workflow engine. And what that also allows you to do is once those documents are electronic, you can take advantage of technologies like OCR, which is automated data entry. So I'm going to show you a quick demo of our OCR. And here what I'm doing is doing an actual NAV vendor ID lookup. And we have a technology called fingerprint that doesn't just look at the text of the document. It actually looks at the shape and the logo of the document to identify that fingerprint. And then this is actually a training exercise where I'm actually showing how the document and all the fields are trained so that the next time an invoice from JWS of Colorado comes in, which is this particular invoice, it will know exactly where to go and get the data. And it actually does line items as well. So here I'm only going to train, or going to only have to train one particular line, and then it will go and find the rest of the lines by clicking the Find Details button. So very quickly I was able to find 7 lines and do my data entry. So what Datahaven's OCR extension allows you to do is that, in our experience, one person can process up to 1,000 documents per day. So even if you don't have 1,000 documents per day, that's significantly less than what they're probably doing today. So data entry is automated by extracting header and line data. We have a very sophisticated engine that tracks errors down to the character level so that you don't have to visit an entire field, just the character that's incorrect. We validate the data against NAV and your company rules. And we can do things like business rules automation, such as duplicate checking and automated routing based on the data we find. And we can even create posted and unposted records in NAV. We also have a solution for non-NAV users. We have an Outlook interface. It looks very similar to what you've seen from my other demo shots. And what this allows you to do is to allow managers or people that are not NAV users to actually participate in workflow, contribute documents, and search on documents. And we also have a GL coding module. And it's particularly powerful when coupled with OCR because the OCR data can be extracted and presented to the manager. They can then select which data is correct and that they want for the coding, and they can actually create an unposted purchase invoice in NAV and forward that on to AP for QC and posting. So the Datahaven differentiation is that we're embedded in on any NAV screen. We're also embedded in Outlook for your non-NAV users. We have folder views that you saw that were configurable and context sensitive and that are shown in real time. We have user and rules-driven workflow, and we have a high-volume OCR that's tightly integrated with NAV. So what you've seen today in customer value is that we offer better visibility because the documents are displayed in a context-sensitive manner. You have greater control because you can consolidate your inbound documents into workflow no matter how they came into your organization. And you can achieve a higher profitability because you can do more with less people in a shorter amount of time. Thank you all for listening today for about Datahaven for Dynamics. We have a YouTube channel. We have a monthly webinar next week, and please feel free to visit our website to learn more about our solution. Thanks, everyone.
All right, thanks, Gary. And if you can stop your sharing, we will now transition to our next speaker, and that is Holly Condon of PaperSave. And Holly, I'm going to make you the presenter right now.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Holly Condon, and I'm with PaperSave. So over the next several minutes, we'll take a look at our seamlessly integrated solution that is certified for Microsoft Dynamics. To start with, just a brief company overview. PaperSave is actually developed by Solutions at MBAF based in Miami, Florida. We are a technology wing of a top 35 CPA firm. So we understand the importance of the financial documents since our CPA side audits these documents all over the country. We were introduced to the market in 2003, and we have over 2,000 clients worldwide. First, PaperSave allows you to really start small or start big since it's a solution that can easily scale with you. We're really 3 different solutions that are rolled into one. So for example, we have document management, which really helps eliminate the 20 to 30% of your time that's spent filing, searching, and retrieving information. We also offer electronic workflow. So as you grow or your needs grow, or those are your needs right now, you can better manage your process to help reduce your procurement to pay cycle and speed monthly closes. It also gives you the insight to know where documents are at all steps of your approval process. And then for those that deal with higher volumes, we also offer transaction automation so that you can reduce keystrokes, saving you valuable time and reducing errors. Now, PaperSave also helps you drive efficiency in many ways. And that is because, you can become more efficient. As you need information, you don't need to get up from your desk to go to those filing cabinets or search out there on a network drive. PaperSave is seamlessly integrated, so it also helps you eliminate lost or misfiled documents. On average, you're talking about 1 out of every 10 documents is either lost or misfiled. And that's because with document management technology, you're not really pulling a document like you do a piece of paper. You're really just accessing it and thus eliminating the number of hands a document needs to travel down, reducing the likelihood that a document's going to be lost. You also can improve customer service because, once again, you have that information available at your fingertips. You can reduce the stress and anxiety around your audit preparation time. And that is because of our seamless integration in with Dynamics in the query tools. And we'll take a look at this here in just a few minutes. Now, an important part to any solution is really flexibility, especially when you're talking about an integration with an ERP solution. The way that somebody needs to add in documents that might be associated with a journal entry or add in a bank transaction document is going to be very different than the way you might do volume processing, like purchase order processing or sales order processing. So PaperSave has 9 different methods of capturing documents. 3 of them are scanning methods, so you can scan as you go. You can scan later after the fact, which is great for the casual user who needs to add a document into the system. Or you also have that volume process where you can scan and capture documents first, taking them through automation and workflow as needed. We also are seamlessly integrated with other Microsoft technologies with our Office and our Outlook integration, so you can save documents that you generate or you receive directly from these tools. And then we also have miscellaneous methods, and that's our drag and drop feature, so you can drag and drop documents in the system. For those that would rather attach a document and browse out, of course you can do that. You can right mouse click on a document and save it into PaperSave. And then we also can grab documents from the printing process, so those documents that are being produced by Dynamics. Now, with our seamless integration in with Dynamics, you really can search and retrieve documents 6 different ways. And this is important because the way that you might need to retrieve documents across different records for different purposes is going to allow you to become more efficient. So PaperSave has the drill down from a card or transaction within the ERP solution. We also offer the integration with SmartList and query tools. So if you need to pull a group of documents for an audit, you can easily create that query or that SmartList based on any financial piece of information that's defined on that record and then easily pull those documents out of the system. Now, PaperSave also allows you to search on user-defined profile fields. So if you need to take a look at all your contracts that are expiring next month, you have the capability to do that. Because within PaperSave, when you capture documents, you have user-defined profile information that you can apply to that document that allows you to do cross-record searches and be able to retrieve documents based on document-related value. We also do content search. And we also have SharePoint integration. So with that being said, let's flip over to Dynamics. In this case, even though we integrate in with many different records and cards and transactions, I've got Dynamics GP open. So from a quick and easy retrieval perspective, you can navigate through your ERP solution. You can open up a record, and within a click, you can then retrieve the supporting document, because PaperSave notifies you that documents exist in your lower right-hand corner, and then you can go seamlessly into that supporting content. So it doesn't really get much easier than that. It's a natural extension to the ERP user interface. If you want to see the history of the workflow, you can also have that capability. Now, we also are integrated in with SSRS reports. So just as an example, if you have created a report using SQL reporting services, PaperSave can easily be integrated. That way you can deliver the report and the supporting content to your managers and your directors and your vice presidents. So in this case, if I'm looking at a report and I need to find out what is this document, what is that transaction? I don't remember seeing it. I don't remember approving it. You have that capability to drill down to the supporting document. Now, it will prompt you to put in your credentials if you are not authenticated as a user, and then PaperSave will pull that supporting content for you. So once again, very easy to that end user. And that is actually part of our tagline, simple, streamlined, and paperless. Now we also have integration in with SharePoint. So just as an example, if I'm not a GP user or I'm not able to access a GP at this time, I can easily come to SharePoint. And if I need to pull up a document for a transaction, PaperSave actually integrates that dynamics data directly with SharePoint, giving users the capability to view and search on documents in a way that makes sense for them and based also on their security. So here if I search for Fujitsu, I'm looking for a transaction, and here it is for this invoice, I could come easily highlight that transaction or that record and be able to, once again, drill down to that supporting content. So if one of your business issues are a lot of phone calls coming in from your managers asking for information, now they can be self-supportive and pick up that information and be able to search and retrieve it on demand. Now last but not least is the integration in with the query tool. So in this case, if I'm preparing for an audit and my auditors need to take a look at all of the documents for supporting transactions that were coded to a certain GL count number, maybe over a certain dollar amount for a certain time frame, I have the capability of creating, in this case, a smart list, but going into my ERP solution and creating that query. Now I can retrieve that query. So here if I drill down and pull up that query, I then come up with a list of those transactions that meet that criteria my auditor's looking for. Now I can drill down to each one of these transactions, but we can also drill down to all of those supporting documents here under my additional drop-down menu. So this is pulling over 1,000 documents out of the system, and it just takes a second or two. And what we're seeing on our screen now in the PaperSave Multiple Document Explorer window are those supporting documents. Now every row represents a document, and the columns of information really help identify the records or the transactions within GP or the host ERP solution that the document's associated to. So all of this information is really pulling from GP automatically. So if I need to sort based on dollar amount or vendor name, or maybe even further filter those results to narrow them down, maybe I just want to look at those invoices for transactions that are greater than or equal to $7,500. You can see how you can easily filter the information. If I want to open up this big group, I can open them up, and I can scroll through those documents here on my screen. I also can print, save, or email the document I'm looking at, or group that I have selected as well. So I can manage them individually or as a group. Okay, so let's go back over to that PowerPoint presentation, and let's take a look at the next slide, which is electronic workflow. So with PaperSave, just like the other solutions, you can manage your process and streamline them. And we can do this with or without automation because we can manage the document going into the process, and then based on your workflow and the rules around your workflow, you can help reduce the processing time and also those vendor inquiries. You can improve bottom line results by taking advantage of those early payment discounts or reducing the late payment fees by making sure the documents flow through the process in a timely fashion. Now you can also analyze the information as it goes through the process as well, or historical information to make sure that you're getting the best prices and discounts on those items that you're purchasing. Now, what we're seeing on the screen is just an example of a workflow, and in this case, it's a multi-tiered approval process. So documents may come in, they have to go to the manager as a first tier of approval, then up to the director, maybe if it exceeds the manager's threshold. So right there, we're talking about a business rule or a decision point that takes place in the workflow. And if I zoom in on one of these decision points, we can see how PaperSave can automate the direction that a document goes in. So if it is within that manager's threshold, you'll notice it can go over to data entry. So if the information has been captured off of the document automatically, it can go straight into the ERP solution. Or if it's over that threshold, it can then go to the higher level of approval that's defined. And in that case, it would be, in the sample workflow, the director's review. Another reason to consider new technology to better manage your documents and your processes is to remove the excuses from the approvers. I can't approve the document, I'm not. Oh, okay. So let's bring up the last slide, and that is kind of the conclusion. If you have any questions, definitely please feel free to reach out to us, and I appreciate your time today.
All right. Thanks so much, Holly. And now we will hear from Troy Cloberdant of Bottomline Technologies. And Troy will now have audio as well.
Great. Well, good morning to some of you, good afternoon to others, and probably good evening to possibly a few of you. Talk a little bit about Bottomline Technologies. Bottomline is a global company with over 10,000 customers, over 1,000 employees worldwide, and is a publicly traded company. So a little bit about what we do. Since 1989, Bottomline has been a provider of automation solutions. Our products are award-winning products, and we're highly recognized in the industry. Today we're kind of showcasing some of our transactional document processing capabilities that relate to both the data and document capture, automation through workflow, as well as we have document output products and document distribution products, along with the storage and retrieval, and all of that is related to payment integration. So one of our value propositions is to look at integrating with some of your existing platform and integrating with your existing technologies. Last slide, a little bit about Bottomline. This is kind of a who's who of our client base. As you can see, we do business with many of the leading companies in the financial sector, in insurance, in banking, and as well as healthcare. So what I'd like to do, we saw some really good things, interesting information today from the other presenters, and I'd like to take a little bit of a different twist to that and talk a little bit about SharePoint, because we take a little bit different approach than many of the folks in the industry. And as probably everyone knows about SharePoint a little bit, SharePoint is predominantly known as a collaboration product, maybe as a portal product where you kind of start off and you look for information or you share information, and in some cases it might even be known as a dumping ground for documents. But actually SharePoint can be really a platform for more of a transaction-based or a very structured document management system. And so the approach that we've taken here at Bottomline is to really provide our solutions using SharePoint as that platform and using a lot of the primary features and functionality of SharePoint, and adding to that our capabilities and our products to complement and supplement SharePoint. So when you take Bottomline and our products along with SharePoint, really you can drive the cost of ownership of an enterprise document management solution by utilizing your SharePoint infrastructure, your licensing, as well as the technical knowledge that you and others in the marketplace have to provide support and configuration for that. As you probably know, SharePoint has a very nice integration with Microsoft Office products, and many of the other products that are available out there have integration capabilities with SharePoint. The other thing that we really like about SharePoint is how the adoption of SharePoint has been literally worldwide, and our users and many of the people using it have an appreciation for what the navigation and the user interface and the features are of SharePoint. So we're leveraging those. And we leverage those with two of the products that we're talking about here today, which is called Transform Filer. And this is a kind of like an on-ramp to quickly and easily get documents indexed and into SharePoint, as well as searching for documents. And this can be done from virtually any application that you may be using today. The other product that I'll talk about in a little more detail is called Transform AP. And this is a comprehensive accounts payable invoice automation solution. And again, this is all based on SharePoint as the foundational technology. So Transform Filer allows you to quickly and easily index documents with a single keystroke directly from a business screen or even from a desktop and provide that index information into SharePoint. It facilitates easy scanning of that document into SharePoint from virtually any scanning device, including MFP or MFD that you may already have in your office. It also provides very quick searching of documents from the business screen or the application screen or the desktop. And another really very valuable aspect of Filer is our drag and drop template configuration. This product does not require any kind of technical development or, in some cases, what's called API integration. It's all done through a drag and drop interface. So really a business analyst or any kind of a power user can create integration in a